Hello, welcome to this tutorial. We're going to overview the PDF Invoices feature, which allows you to manage invoices, credit notes, and packing slips, and even create your own custom templates. Let's get started.
With this feature, you can generate and manage your invoices very easily. You'll find these sections where you can configure the feature and manage the files. In Invoices, you'll find two subtabs, Invoices and Credit Notes. In Invoices, you'll find all the invoices generated in your shop. Each one has the generation date, the invoice number, the order it was generated for, the customer who placed the order, the subtotal, the shipping, taxes, and the total. Here you have actions to view each invoice and to download it, regenerate it, send it to the customer, or delete it. And you'll find bulk actions to download, delete, or regenerate several invoices at once. You can also filter invoices that were generated within specific dates, export this view into a CSV file, search for specific invoices, and download all of them. Let's go ahead and view this invoice right here. So this is the invoice that was generated for this order. It includes the logo, the customer info, the invoice number, generation date and amount, the products table, and the total table. Let's go back. And if we click on the order number, we'll get directed to the order details where we can see all the order info, the address, phone number, products. And to the right, we have the files that can be generated with this feature and some actions, like for example, we have this invoice that has already been created. We can see the PDF file, we can remove it, and we can regenerate it. Let's go back. Then in credit notes, you'll get a similar table for all the credit notes created in the shop. You'll have the info, bulk actions, a filter, a button to export this view into a CSV file, a search field, and the option to download all the credit notes here. Now, under settings, you'll find three subsections. In general options, you'll first be able to decide if you want the feature to generate the invoices automatically for every order placed in your shop, or if you want to generate them manually yourself. Let's see how you can do it manually. Let's say this is a new order. You would just have to go here to the right where you have this invoice status indicating there's no invoice for this order. And you would just need to click here on Create. And that's it. You would just need to get into the order details and click on Create to generate each invoice manually. Now let's go back. If you select automatically instead, you'll be able to choose when you want the invoice to be automatically generated. It can be on the date the order is created, when the status changes to processing, or when it changes to completed. You can also choose what date to show in the invoice, what the invoice numbers will be. You can enable this option to enforce a minimum length for the invoice number, and this one to prevent invoices to be generated for orders where the value is 0. Here you can decide how users will see the files. They can download them as PDF files, or they can open them in the same tab or in a new one. Below you can enable Proforma invoices as well, allow users to download them in My Account, and you can also attach them to new order emails. You can enable these options so customers see a drop-down at checkout where they can choose if they want to get an invoice or a receipt. You can enable credit notes, set the sequential number they should start from, and enable this option to reset the number on January 1st. You can enable packing slips as well to ship your products, and you can decide if you want to generate them manually or automatically. And last, we have checkout options where you can add fields for the social security number and the VAT number and make them mandatory. Now, let's move on to documents format. Here you can choose the date format for all the files generated with this feature. You can enable this option to add a prefix and/or a suffix to the invoice number. Here you can set the format for the file number and name. Below you'll find similar options for credit notes and name format options for the Proforma invoices and packing slips. Then, in document storage, you can enter a name to identify the subfolder where you want to store the files generated with this feature. You can use placeholders like year, month, or day to identify the subfolders more easily. If you don't enter anything here, then the files will just be stored in the root folder. And you can also enable these options to automatically upload the files to Dropbox and Google Drive. By enabling any of these, you'll be able to enter all the info to connect to your account. Then, under PDF templates, we have two subsections. In settings, you can choose if you want to use the default template or a custom one. If you choose the default template, you'll be able to enter the company name, the logo, and the details. You'll have this option to choose what company info to show in the files. Then there's the invoice and Proforma invoice template settings section, where you can decide what order info to show, the customer invoice details to include, like the billing address. You can choose to show notes, and the footer text that you can enter here for invoices and here for pro forma invoices. You can show shipping details and choose what to show for the total table and for the products table. And you'll find similar options for the credit notes and the packing slips. Let's go up again. Now when the default template is selected, you'll have the style section here where you can choose one of these templates to use and set some colors here. But if you choose to use a custom template instead, this section will change to templates, and this is where you have to create the custom templates first that you can later choose to use here for invoices, pro forma invoices, packing slips, and credit notes. You just have to click here and enter the template you want to use. And below you'll find this option you can enable to show positive amount on credit notes. This has been added because some countries like Germany and Spain require the amounts on credit notes to have positive values, so you can simply enable this option if you need that. Now, let's go to templates to see how you can set up your own templates. You'll find all the available templates here, and you can see the title of the template and what it's used for. You can edit, duplicate, and delete each template, and you can click here to create a new one. Let's do that. We'll get this template builder where you can select one of these templates to start setting it up. The preview below will change based on the selection. Let's select this one. Once you decide which one you want to use, you can enter the title to identify the template, and you can start setting it up. So we have the preview, and here to the right we have a template tab where you can upload a background image, and we can enter the footer text. You can use different blocks to create the template, like for example this customer info block, the product table block, and the total table block. You can add all the blocks you want to by just clicking here. If I click on one of these, like for example the customer info block, we can see to the right all the placeholders we can use. We have the colors, we can choose the typography, we can set the padding, and we even have an advanced field to enter additional CSS classes if we need to. Then if I click on the product table block, I can choose what type of document this is, invoice or credit note. I can choose to hide the product thumbnail and the names. We have weight, dimensions, quantity, sale price, taxes, and more. We can choose to show or hide all these elements. We can set the color and the border color for the titles, the size for the font, the colors for the items, the size as well. And we also have advanced fields here to enter an HTML anchor and additional CSS classes. So once you're all done, you just have to click on publish, and let's go back. And here's a new custom template I just created. Now I can go back to settings and select this new template for my files. And that's it. That's how easy it is to configure the options, generate the files, and manage custom templates with this feature.
Okay, so you can configure and use this feature. See you soon in the next video tutorial.